Hey guys, I'm back with another video and I'm just in a serious filming mood, and so I figured I would take advantage of it, so that is why I am in like the same clothes, obviously. So today's video is about choosing your classes and making your class schedule. I had to do this at orientation, but I don't know what other schools do. So, and I don't know if you guys have orientation still, because I was going to make an orientation video, like what it's all about, but I think that it's probably all over for most colleges. If not, and you guys want to see that video, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that they're all over. Anyways, so I have my notes here, so don't, like, that's what I'm looking at, if you see me looking down. But the first thing you need to do when you're looking at your classes is to determine how many classes you want to take. If you want to take the minimum for being a part-time student that your college requires, I think at my college it's 12. Yeah, I think it's 12 credits that you have to take to be considered a full-time student. In my case, I had to take 15 just because, at least 15, because of my scholarships. Some of them required me to take a certain amount. And I actually ended up taking 16 because that's just how my classes turned out. But I was perfectly fine with anywhere between the range to 15 to 17 credits. I personally feel like if you are taking more than 17 credits, it could be pretty overwhelming, and you might not have as much time for other things like hanging out with friends or extracurricular clubs and whatnot. So you also have to keep in mind that college studying is a lot different than high school. In high school, you know, you study for maybe half an hour per class or whatever. Maybe you didn't study at all. But in college, what's the word I'm looking for? Recommend. They recommend that you take at least 2 hours for every class you take. So for example, I'm taking technically 5 classes, but one of them I don't think I'm really going to have to study for because it's like a freshman orientation class. But so 4 core classes. So I would need to spend at least 8 hours studying for those at the very minimum. So that's also something you have to keep in mind is time, and trying to juggle all of that. The second thing you need to keep in mind is the content of the course. If you need this course, maybe you haven't decided on a major, which is totally fine. I know so many people that are my friends that have no idea what they're going to major in. And that's fine, because for the first year, it really doesn't matter. You're taking stuff that the college makes all freshmen take anyways. So, take your generals. I know in my college at least, you're forced to take certain generals before it's like within your first 36 credits of your college career. You have to take the generals and be done with them. It's 36 or 64, I think. And then they have some colleges have requirements that it takes for you to graduate from that college. For example, my college requires you to have a freshman orientation, or even my cousin is transferring to my college, and so he has to take a orientation still, but it's not a freshman one, it's just a regular one. But anyways, so make sure that you are working towards something in your classes is the main thing. Take a class for a purpose, whether it's because you are somewhat interested in it and it could potentially become something you want to major in, or it's something that you have a requirement for. Take it for a reason. You are going to pay a lot of money for that class, and so make it worth it. Make it have a purpose towards your goals. The next thing is check with your advisor. I know my brother is currently on his 5th semester of college. He's going to college to be a teacher, and so he was also a student athlete, and he is basically doing student teaching. So before he graduates, that's all he's doing. And he told me that your advisor really probably won't pay all that much attention to you until you're a junior, because that's when you need to really start working on getting an internship or things like that. So you have to make the effort to talk to your advisor, meet your advisor, be in contact with them. That's all really, really important. and they can also help you. You know, you are probably not the first major ever in your college to go through this. So they know, and they know what's going on, and they could be a great resource for you to use. And the next thing that's really important is that in college, they don't tell you what classes to take, and they also don't tell you when you have to take them. They have options, which is really nice, because if you are not a morning person like me, you are not going to want to sign up for a 7 o'clock biology lab. You would instead be like me and take the 10 o'clock biology lab. So adjust it to you. You know, obviously, you aren't going to want to take a class at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Who wants to do that? I mean, no, do not do that, because all of your friends are going to be going out, and you are going to want to go out with them, and you're either going to skip class or be kicking yourself because you can't go out with anybody because you have to go to class. So try to take class. I would suggest taking classes between 8 to like 4 o'clock in that time span. That's when you're used to going to class anyways, because most schools go from like 8 to 3 or whatever. And so that's what I would recommend. Go to classes at regular times. If you can't, obviously there's nothing you can do, but try to aim for those times. Also, before you commit and sign up and register for a class, go to ratemyprofessor.com. That thing is awesome. You go on there, you find your school, you pick the teacher, and sometimes your teacher's not on there. Like my Spanish teacher isn't on there, not a big deal. But sometimes the teachers that are on there, you can get some really helpful things. Some of my classes said, we didn't use the book once, don't buy it. I'm not going to buy the book for that class. That's just kind of common sense, you know? But make sure that it also is the same class, because obviously some teachers teach different classes, or some professors teach different classes. And so make sure that you are, you know, looking at the right class. But also, you know, it'll tell you, oh, they're a really fair grader, or, you know, I didn't get along with this professor. And if everybody says they didn't get along with them, it's probably not a good idea to take that professor. But obviously, take everything with a grain of salt. You know, maybe you will get along with that professor great and nobody else will. That's just you and your personality, and you just kind of have to make a judgment call on that one. But it is a super resource for you to try to figure out, or it might help make a deciding factor, because that was me. Like, I was trying to decide between 2 English classes, and they were both around the same time, and also like both fit in my schedule. The only thing was I was torn on which professor to take, and one professor was like very strict but also very fair in their grading, and the other professor was very, you know, laid back, but it was unclear sometimes what they expected of you. And I would rather have an extremely strict professor that tells you black and white, this is what you have to do to get an A in this class, rather than have a professor who's kind of like wishy-washy and just saying like, well, I don't really know, you know, you just do whatever you want to. That might seem cool for like the first couple weeks, but when it comes to get graded and then you have like a C in the class because you didn't know what you were doing, it's not going to be a good thing. So check that out and try to use it to your advantage. The final thing that I would do, once you have your schedule and you are 100% sure that that is what you want and you have registered and everything checks out great, make a schedule. This is my schedule. I went on Word and I just made a little table. Comment if you want a tutorial for that, I guess. I actually took this idea from Dear BMO or College Lane. I can't remember which one. But I'm subscribed to both of them, so go check them out because they have some good stuff on their channel too. Anyways, this is, like, obviously, it says weekly schedule, fall semester 2012. And then it has Monday through Friday, and then from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. So I have no classes even after 4 o'clock, but I figured I would just go down to 6 just because it fit on the page, and, you know, it never hurts to have it anyways. So all of my classes are color-coded to how my binders were color-coded, like this one, you know, my biology binder, and then all my biology classes are in green. And then the same goes for algebra and composition and Spanish. So, like, and then all of my eating times are up here in this light blue, and like lunch here. I don't know really when I'm going to eat lunch on this day because it's like an awkward time, but I don't really think that this orientation is going to be a 2-hour class every day or on every Wednesday. And then I'm eating lunch here because I have about 10 minutes in between those 2 classes. But color code it makes it look a lot easier, and also this will help you determine when you are going to have time to study. Okay, so say I usually have a pretty big gap. Like my biggest gap between classes is obviously right here in this like 2-hour time span. And so that is when I can do some of my studying. Like when I get out of my intro to Spanish, I can go do my work, be done with it for that day, because I have it every day. So I'm going to have to get on top of my work every day. And so just do it, be done with it. You don't have to worry about it. And then that way you can go to your next class with a clean slate, no homework as far as you had. So that is what I would recommend. If you want a tutorial on this, let me know. But it's pretty simple. And that is basically all of the tips I have for having a schedule. Use your own judgment, ask the people around you. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or email me. I will have the email in the down bar, and message me on YouTube. I'm always on it. So yeah, let me know if I hope this helped you guys. Because there's some things I wish I would have known when I was registering, because I know that it can seem really overwhelming at the beginning when you're trying to register for classes. So I will talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching.